Chapter 11: Public Goods and Common Resources. Our objective is to answer the following questions. What are public goods? What are common resources? Give examples of each. Why do markets generally fail to produce the efficient amounts of these goods? How might the government improve market outcomes in the case of public goods or common resources? By way of introduction, we consume many goods without paying. Parks, national defense, clean air, water. When goods have no price, the market forces that normally allocate resources are absent. The private market may fail to provide the socially efficient quantity of such goods. Government, therefore, can sometimes improve market outcomes by making these goods available. There are different kinds of goods. There are goods with excludability feature. That's the property of a good whereby a person can be prevented from using it. That means excludable. Examples include fish tacos, wireless internet access. You can be excluded from consuming these goods. Not excludable, goods that you cannot be excluded from consuming are radio signals, national defense. Once the signal is there, anybody can pick it up. Nobody can stop you. The other feature is rivalry in consumption. This is a property of a good whereby one person's use diminishes other person's use. Fish taco is an example of a good that is rival in consumption. Not rival in consumption, an MP3 file of Lady Gaga's latest single. Once it is there, anybody will enjoy it and does not diminish your enjoying it. Goods can also be private or public. Private goods are goods that are both excludable and rival in consumption. For example, food is a good that fall under this category. Public goods are goods that are not excludable and not rival in consumption. National defense is an example of a public good. Common resources. They are rival in consumption, but not excludable. Fish in the ocean is an example of a common resource. Club goods. They are excludable, but not rival in consumption. Example would be cable TV. Active learning 1. A road is which of the four kinds of goods? Hint. The answer depends on whether the road is congested or not, and whether it is a toll road or not. Consider the different cases. Rival in consumption only if congested, excludable only if it is a toll road. So there are four possibilities. If the road is uncongested and it is not a toll road, then it is a public good. Non-excludability and non-rivalry in consumption. If the road is uncongested, but it is a toll road, that means you can be excluded from it, then it becomes a club good. If the road is congested, but it is non-toll road, then it becomes a common resource. Can't be excluded, but there is rivalry in consumption. If it is congested toll road, then it is a private good. You can be excluded, and there's rivalry in consumption. What do economists say? Ask the experts. Congestion pricing. In general, using more congestion charges in crowded transportation networks such as higher tolls during peak travel times in cities and peak fees for airplane takeoffs and landing slots, and using the proceeds to lower other taxes would make citizens on average better off. 98% of economists say yes. Public goods and common resources. Externalities arise because something of value has no price attached to it. Private decisions about consumption and production can lead to an inefficient outcome. Public policy, therefore, can potentially raise economic well being. Free rider problem: a person who receives the benefit of a good but avoids paying for it. That's a free rider. The free rider problem in public goods are, since public goods are not excludable, so people have an incentive to be free riders. It prevents the private market from supplying the good, so the market fails. Government can remedy the free rider problem. If total benefits of public good exceeds its cost, the government can provide these goods. So you find government providing public goods. They pay for it with tax revenues and make everyone better off. The problem, measuring the benefit is usually difficult. Putting dollar value to the actual benefit is a challenge. Cost benefit analysis. Compare the costs and benefits to society of providing a public good. It doesn't have any price signals to observe. That is a problem. Government findings, rough approximation at best. So cost benefit analysis are imprecise, so the efficient provision of public goods is more difficult than of private goods. Some important public goods: national defense, very expensive public good. In 2014, the US government spent $748 billion on national defense. Basic research is an example of a public good. It's a general knowledge. It is subsidized by the government. The public sector fails to pay for the right amount and the right kind. Some important public goods: anti-poverty programs financed by taxes, welfare systems, temporary assistance for the needy families program, TANF, provides a small income for some poor families. Food stamps, supplemental nutrition assistance program, or SNAP. It subsidizes the purchase of food for those with low incomes. Government housing programs make shelter more affordable. Common resources. Common resources are not excludable. You cannot prevent free riders from using it. There is little incentive for farms to provide these common resources. What's the role of government? Seeing that they are provided. Common resources, there's rival in consumption. Each person's use reduces others' ability to use it. What's the role of government? Ensuring they are not overused. The tragedy of the commons. It's a parable that shows why common resources are used more than desirable. In medieval times, where sheep graze on common land, as the population grows, the number of sheep grows. The amount of land is fixed, the grass begins to disappear, and overgrazing takes place, and land value is reduced. Tragedy of the commons: social and private incentives differ. The private incentives, that's using the land for free. outweigh the social incentive, which is using it carefully. Tragedy of the commons arise because of a negative externality. Allowing one's flock to graze on the common land reduces its quality for other families. People neglect this external cost, resulting in overuse of the land. Active learning, too. Policy options for common resources. What could the townspeople or their government have done to prevent the tragedy? Try to think of two or three options. Impose answers. Impose a corrective tax on the use of the land that will internalize the externality. Regulate use of the land, that is the command and control approach. Auction off permits allowing the use of the land. Divide the land, sell plots to individual families. Each family will have incentives to not to overgraze its own land. Policy options to prevent overconsumption of common resources. Regulate use of resources. Impose a corrective tax to internalize the externality. Examples are hunting and fishing licenses, entrance fees to congested national parks, auction of permits allowing use of resources. Example, spectrum auctions by the US Federal Communications Commission. If the resource is land, convert to a private good by dividing and selling parcels to individuals. Some important common resources are clean air and water. The negative externality would be pollution, and the correction would be either regulations or corrective taxes. Congested road is another common resource. The negative externality is congestion, and the government could impose corrective tax, charge drivers a toll, that is a TOLL, and tax on gasoline. Some important common resources: fish, whales, and other wildlife. Oceans is the least regulated common resource. It needs international cooperation, which is difficult to come by, difficult to enforce an agreement. Some measures to improve on common resources: fishing and hunting licenses, limits on fishing and hunting seasons, limits on size of fish, limits on quantity of animals killed. Case study: you've got spam. Some farms use spam emails to advertise their products. Spam is not excludable. Farms cannot be prevented from spamming. Spam is rival. As more companies use spam, it becomes less effective. Thus, spam is a common resource. Like most common resources, spam is overused, which is why we get so much of it. Importance of property rights. Market fails to allocate resources efficiently because property rights are not well established. Some item of value does not have an owner with the legal authority to use it. Government can potentially solve this problem. The government should help define property rights and thereby unleash the market forces. Regulate private behavior. Use tax revenue to supply a good that the market fails to supply. Summary: goods differ in whether they are excludable and whether they are rival in consumption. A good is excludable if it is possible to prevent someone from using it. A good is rival in consumption if one person's use of the good reduces others' ability to use the same unit of the good. Markets work best for private goods, which are both excludable and rival in consumption. Markets do not work as well for other types of goods. Public goods are neither rival in consumption nor excludable. Examples of public goods include fireworks displays, national defense, and the discovery of fundamental knowledge. Because people are not charged for their use of the public good, they have an incentive to free ride, making private provision of the good unattainable. Therefore, governments provide public goods, basing their decisions about the quantity of each good on cost-benefit analysis. Common resources are rival in consumption, but not excludable. Examples include common grazing land, clean air, and congested roads. Because people are not charged for their use of common resources, they tend to use them excessively. Therefore, governments use various methods such as regulations and corrective taxes to limit the use of common resources.